evening, and welcome back to another episode of Under the Bottom Rope with your host, the podcast who cuts meats, the meat cutter puts asses in them seats. Yes, sir, it's me, it's that good old quadruple B, the big bad by Woo Bear. Another wonderful week in wrestling, another wonderful week in life. Thanksgiving, I gained 30 pounds. My IWGP Heavyweight Championship belt came in, thus the name of the episode, because I'm so happy. Yes, my replica came in the mail. I was so fucking thrilled. There were things about it, and I'll talk about it in just a minute. But it was still really cool and really exciting, so there's that. But alright guys, welcome to another edition of the Under the Bottom Rope podcast as we go through the week of news that has been going on, and talk about it and put our opinion out there. We've got a little bit of news, a couple of things I just found here recently, minutes ago. So lots and lots of stuff. First thing I want to talk about, though, right at the start of the podcast, just because I don't want to forget, and I really, really wanted to plug this, is the XWF. So some of you out there right now don't have any idea what I'm talking about, the XWF. They may have been an old company or something, but I'm not talking about a wrestling company out there right now. I'm talking about the Extreme Wrestling Federation. So, if you are into role-play wrestling, which is getting online and, going through and kind of battling it out with words on a forum page and a post and such, I gotta say, they are really, really fucking cool. I used to actually do that quite a lot with the WLF. They were another little role-play forum, an RP forum, and I thought that was a lot of fun, and it was, but I just kind of stopped, and so I got back into it, and this is the first page I went to, was the Extreme Wrestling Federation, and they're very talented, very cool, a lot of fun, very chill environment, so definitely go by and check them out. Very interesting people. They got some good stuff, so if you're into that, if you're into getting into a character and all that, or maybe you've done it before, maybe you haven't, want to check it out, I think XWF is a good place to start. Just stop on by and tell them Steam Diesel sent you. They'll know what you're talking about. And I'll probably end up talking about it again throughout the night, but let's move on now and kind of get into the first pieces of news. So, one second. I'm going to go with the latest, the very, very latest piece of news that I got. And that is that Luke Harper is looking to change his name. Or no, not looking to change his name, but has fucking copyrighted a new name for when he leaves WWE. Yep, you heard me correct. He has copyrighted a new name because we all know that he asked for his release here of recent. And, of course, since they didn't give it to him, they added on time because of an injury during his tenure. And so he will no longer be able to leave when he... had to hit a mute there when he wanted to. So instead, he's got to stay longer, and he's just kind of counting down the days right now. He posts on Twitter, and it's every day. It's Wednesday. You know what that means. It's Thursday. You know what that means. This is what he posts on Twitter. It's really interesting. So I wonder if it's a countdown. If he's counting down to get out, and he's waiting and waiting. A lot of people think he's going to AEW. He's got friends over there in All Elite Wrestling, and I think honestly that's the most logical choice for him. It's here in the States. He's going to do something with Moxley over there if he goes. So there's a lot of potential there, I think. A lot of good stuff going on in AEW as it is. We'll talk a little bit about them, obviously, this evening. So I think his name is Brody Lee, and it fits him in my opinion because if anybody, he reminds me of like a Bruiser Brody type deal. I think that's rather interesting that he goes with that name. And maybe it's nothing to even do with Bruiser Brody, but it does definitely remind me of Bruiser Brody. So it's just his kind of the way he walks and the way he wrestles and stuff like that. It's really he kind of just reminds me of him. So, and that could just be me. I don't know. Could just be me. It probably is just me when it comes down to it. But no, so I hope everybody's been doing really well this week. Sorry, I'm kind of slow. I'm trying to share everything and, fucking do my thing here and go through the news and such and fucking, how hard that shit is. Because, damn it. But I think I have it here. Just had to get to the right place. No, I don't want to listen to my own broadcast. I want to be able to share it, damn it. You know how that is. Shit's fucking just shitty. It's fucking shitty. Everybody had a good Thanksgiving. It's been a fucking long ass week. I mean, it's just been fucking ugh. You know what I'm saying? Because Thanksgiving always makes the week longer, and then for wrestling fans, you got so much going on. Because we've got obviously all the pay-per-views, Survivor Series, and then all the stuff we follow independently, and then it's just it's a lot of wrestling, a lot of food to eat, a lot of football. Hope everybody had some good food. Because, I've just been Thanksgiving. We're still eating turkey. But it doesn't, you can't just get rid of it. So it's, you best eat that shit, boy. You know what I mean? So, that's what we're doing. We're just going through and fucking eating that shit, It's just ridiculous. So much turkey in so little time. Yep. I sound like a retard, but it's okay. I love you guys. So much. Anyways, so let's get back on track, y'all. I'm sorry, I've been just so scatterbrained. I've also got kind of a migraine going, and it's just fucking beating me down. Alright, next up, we had here Cody Reynolds applied for his trademark Slamboree on November 19th for G&S Entertainment in the nature of ongoing television programs in the field of professional wrestling. Entertainment is in the nature of wrestling contests, etc., etc., providing a wrestling news and information via a global computer network. WCW ran Slamboree pay-per-view events from May of 93 through May of 2000. Before the company was sold to WWE in 2001, an existing trademark filed by WCW in 1998 finally expired in 2005. Reynolds also applied a trademark for a Super Brawl, hell yeah, in the nature of wrestling contests, yada yada yada. For the professional wrestling, it goes through the whole trademark. WCW also produced the Super Bowl pay-per-view events from May of 91 through February of 01. WCW also trademarked that term in 1996 with the trademark expiring in 05. So he is now taking more WCW pay-per-views, and I know that we're all kind of marking about this, and to an extent, obviously this is really cool, but we also need to sit and say, hey, chill. Cody, he's doing some of these because his dad has got a hand in some of the names and stuff, if not all of them. These might be all the ones his dad made up. But we're going to be talking about the pay-per-view situation for All Elite Wrestling coming up pretty soon in the show. But before we get there, I want to talk about this. Be original. Don't get me wrong. You're making some good moves because you're going to draw in some of those old fans, especially the WCW fans, with Super Brawl and Slamboree and Bash at the Beach, but you need your own identity. All Elite Wrestling is still new. You're still raw. You're still building. You guys are working on everything, and that's why I'm so willing to give them a break. People are just like, you're biased. And I am a bit. I am, because, I grew up watching Dusty, and I eventually made my way to WWF and watched Dustin Rhodes. And so after that, obviously Cody. And, it's almost like a family thing. He's from down this way in Atlanta, not fucking hop, skip, and a jump away from me. So, it's I want to see him succeed, and I'm hoping he succeeds, and I'm trying to check out everything he does. So, I mean, I'm biased to an extent, but in that same breath, I'm willing to admit that they're rough around the edges. There are things they're not doing perfectly, and things that are within their control that they need to work on. And I'm sure they are. I'm sure they're working on it, and I hope they do. And I'll continue watching. But, I think that using as these pay-per-views like they're talking about. Well, I mean, we haven't even heard them say they're going to use these pay-per-views, but it is he copyrighted Bash at the Beach, and now he's using Bash at the Beach. So, we're going under the assumption that he's going to be using these pay-per-views. I think that he needs to cool it a little bit and make sure he keeps enough originality around to keep them fresh, because WCW's not here anymore, and there's a reason. Now, was it because of their pay-per-view names? No, I mean, that's not what I'm saying, but following their business practices may not be your best idea. So I'm just saying, personally, you need to make sure you keep enough originality in there to keep you fresh, to keep being talked about. Full Gear was a good name. It's a good, real starting name, good starting pay-per-view name. Blood and Guts, we talked about that, I think, last week. I hope that becomes a pay-per-view. That'd be a cool, hardcore wrestling pay-per-view name in the next months or so. So, I mean, just keep them coming, Don't get me wrong. Yeah, use a Bash at the Beach. Hell, even use Super Brawl. I don't know if you should keep filling up your pay-per-view itinerary, though, with old WCW pay-per-view names. But only time will tell. That's even what they're doing. He could just be taking it back to do what he wants to do with it. So, So, I want to talk a little bit about AEW. Or, excuse me, not AEW, NXT. I don't talk much about them because I don't usually get to watch them. I'm usually an AEW guy, and I kind of stick to that. But we're going to talk about a certain thing to do with NXT. And it's mostly going to be about this whole call-up, call-down situation and the eventuality of staleness that will kind of take hold on the Invasion storyline that they're doing right now. So just as an outsider looking in, I can tell you, even as an outsider looking in, I can tell you that the Invasion storyline is good. It is good. Because, I mean, what's better than an Invasion storyline? Everybody loves the invasions that happen, as long as it's like different companies and stuff. Even with this being the same company, different entities within the said company are working together, and they're doing some really good stuff. And we're getting some dream matches out of it, and all that. So, yeah, okay. It's cool, but see, this feels like a short-term problem for a long-term problem. Or a short-term solution for a long-term problem. Because, I mean, let's face it, the reason that AEW is having to compete so hard with NXT on Wednesday nights is because Vince is sending the boys down to NXT to boost those fucking ratings. You throw Finn Balor back on